In the last video, we talked about how bacteria regulate the genes they already have, using operons and other control mechanisms to conserve energy and respond to their environment. But bacteria don't just regulate genes, they can actually acquire entirely new genetic information. Hi, and welcome back to my channel, Learning Biology with Dr. Vanessa, where I take difficult biological concepts and make them easy to understand. In this video, we're diving into bacterial genetic change, how bacteria gain new traits through horizontal gene transfer, conjugation, transformation, transduction, transposons, and mutations. This is the science behind antibiotic resistance, increased virulence, and rapid microbial adaptation. Microbial genetics is especially powerful because bacteria can gain new genetic information without reproducing. Through genetic recombination, DNA from one bacterium can be transferred to another, creating a recombinant cell with a new combination of traits that are different from the donor and original recipient. This new genetic makeup can lead to important changes, such as antibiotic resistance, new metabolic activities, increased virulence, or improved adaptation to environmental stress. When DNA is transferred between bacteria that are not in a parent-offspring relationship, the process is called horizontal gene transfer. This is one of the main reasons bacteria can evolve so quickly. The transferred DNA often comes in the form of plasmids, which are small, circular DNA molecules separate from the bacterial chromosome. Plasmids have their own origin of replication, allowing the replication of the plasmid only, and frequently carrying genes that provide survival advantages, such as drug resistance. There are three primary mechanisms of horizontal gene transfer: conjugation, transformation, and transduction. Together, these processes allow bacteria to rapidly share genetic traits, accelerating adaptation and the spread of clinically significant characteristics. Conjugation is a form of horizontal gene transfer that requires direct cell-to-cell contact. During conjugation, a donor bacterium transfers DNA, usually in the form of a plasmid, to a recipient bacterium through a physical connection between the cells. Before transfer occurs, the plasmid DNA is replicated so that the donor retains a copy while a newly synthesized copy is passed to the recipient. This type of transfer is considered conservative because the donor cell does not lose its genetic material during the process. Both gram-positive and gram-negative cells can conjugate. This process commonly involves a plasmid known as the F factor or fertility factor. In gram-negative bacteria, conjugation typically occurs through a structure called a sex pilus, which forms a conjugation bridge between the donor and recipient cells. The donor must carry the F plasmid, making it an F-positive cell. The F factor contains the genes needed to produce the conjugative pilus, which extends from the F-positive cell and attaches to an F-negative recipient. Once the cells are connected, the F plasmid is replicated and a copy is transferred to the F-negative cell. As a result, the recipient becomes F-positive and gains the ability to produce a pilus and transfer the plasmid to other bacteria. In some cases, the F plasmid becomes integrated into the bacterial chromosome. When this happens, the bacterium is called an HFR cell, or a high-frequency recombination cell. During conjugation with a high-frequency recombination cell, portions of chromosomal DNA, rather than just the plasmid, can be transferred to the recipient. This allows for greater genetic variation and recombination. However, because the entire chromosome rarely transfers completely, the recipient usually does not become F-positive. In gram-positive bacteria, conjugation does not involve a sex pilus. Instead, cells form direct contact through adhesion proteins or surface signaling mechanisms, but the overall concept, direct DNA transfer from donor to recipient, remains the same. Conjugation is especially important in medicine because it allows bacteria to rapidly spread beneficial survival traits within a population. Through the transfer of plasmids, those small self-replicating DNA molecules, bacteria can acquire new characteristics without needing to mutate slowly over time. Of particular concern are resistance or R plasmids, which carry genes that provide resistance to antibiotics and other microbial drugs. Some R plasmids also contain genes for resistance to heavy metals and for the production of virulence factors that enhance a pathogen's ability to cause disease. Because conjugation can occur between different bacterial strains and sometimes even different species, it plays a major role in the emergence and spread of multi-drug resistant infections in clinical settings. Transformation is a form of horizontal gene transfer in which bacteria take up free or naked DNA from their environment. This DNA may come from dead cells and can be incorporated into the recipient's genome if it is compatible. When a bacterial cell dies and lyses, its chromosome is released and broken into small fragments. Even though the cell is dead, the DNA can still retain its genetic sequence. If these fragments are small enough, they can be taken up by another bacterium. This process does not require direct cell-to-cell contact or specialized appendages like a pilus. Instead, transformation is facilitated by DNA-binding proteins located on the surface of certain bacteria. Only competent cells, cells that are capable of accepting genetic material, can undergo transformation. The uptake of DNA is generally nonspecific, meaning the bacterium may take in any compatible DNA fragment present in the environment. If the acquired DNA is incorporated into the recipient's chromosome through recombination, the bacterium may gain a new trait, such as antibiotic resistance or a metabolic advantage. Beyond its natural role in the environment, transformation is also a foundational tool in recombinant DNA technology. In the laboratory, scientists intentionally induce competence in bacteria such as E. coli and introduce plasmids carrying specific genes. This technique is used to produce medically important products like human insulin, growth hormone, and certain vaccines, as well as to study gene function. In other words, a process that bacteria use naturally for adaptation is the same process we harness in biotechnology to produce life-saving therapies. Transduction involves bacteriophages. Those are the viruses that infect bacteria to transfer DNA from one bacterium to another. There are two types of transduction, generalized and specialized. In generalized transduction, a bacteriophage infects a bacterium and begins assembling new viral particles. During this process, fragments of the host bacterial DNA may be accidentally packaged inside a phage instead of viral DNA. When that phage infects another bacterium, it injects the previous host's DNA into the new cell. Because the DNA packaging error is random, any bacterial gene can potentially be transferred. In specialized transduction, the process is more specific. This process occurs with temperate phages that integrate their DNA into the bacterial chromosome as a prophage on a fixed site of the bacterial chromosome. When the prophage later exits the chromosome, it may accidentally take adjacent bacterial genes with it. As a result, only genes located near the viral integration site are transferred. During the lytic cycle, these specific viral host gene combinations are incorporated into the viral particles and carried to another bacterial cell. This type of transfer is not random, but limited to specific regions of the chromosome. Now that we've talked about ways that genetic material can be transferred from one bacterium to another, let's talk about the genetic sequence itself. we can talk about transposons, which are often called jumping genes. These are DNA sequences that can move from one location to another within a genome or between DNA molecules. They can be transferred from a chromosome to a plasmid or vice versa, or from one cell to another in bacteria and some eukaryotes. They do not require homologous recombination to move. Instead, they use enzymes like transposase to cut and insert themselves elsewhere in the DNA. Transposons are especially important because they often carry genes for antibiotic resistance. When they insert into plasmids, they can be spread rapidly through conjugation. Their movement can also disrupt genes, leading to mutations. In short, transposons increase genetic variation and play a major role in the spread of drug resistance. A mutation is a permanent change in the DNA sequence. Mutations can alter how a protein functions, have no noticeable effect, or sometimes prevent a protein from working at all. The wild type refers to the normal, most common form of a gene found in nature. A mutant type contains a change in the DNA sequence. Not all mutations are harmful. Some are neutral, and a few may even provide an advantage, such as antibiotic resistance. Examples of mutant types include a bacterium that develops antibiotic resistance due to a mutation that changes the structure of a drug target protein, a mutation that alters a metabolic enzyme, allowing a bacterium to use a new nutrient source, a mutation that changes colony color or cell shape in laboratory cultures, or even a mutation that disrupts a critical enzyme, resulting in loss of function or even cell death. Mutations can occur in two main ways. There can be spontaneous mutations, which happen naturally due to errors during DNA replication. Even though DNA polymerase proofreads, mistakes can still occur. There can also be induced mutations. These are caused by environmental factors called mutagens that disrupt DNA. Things such as radiation, like UV light or X-rays, or chemicals, an example would be nitrous acid. Mutations can be classified based on their effects. Neutral mutations do not significantly affect the organism. Many occur in non-coding regions or result in the same amino acid due to the redundancy of the genetic code. Lethal mutations disrupt essential cellular functions and lead to dysfunction or cell death. Permanent alterations refer to lasting changes in DNA that become part of the organism's genome and can be passed to future generations. Some mutations may also change protein structure or function in a way that benefits the bacterium, such as increased drug resistance. Despite frequent DNA damage, cells have mechanisms to maintain genetic integrity. DNA repair systems can correct replication errors, remove damaged bases, or replace entire sections of faulty DNA. Ultraviolet radiation can cause thymine dimers. This is where two adjacent thymine bases bond together and distort the DNA structure. Some bacteria use an enzyme called photolyase, which binds to the thymine dimer and uses energy from visible light to break the bond and restore the DNA to its normal structure. This process is called photoreactivation. However, photolyase only repairs certain types of UV-induced damage, primarily thymine dimers. If the DNA damage is severe or widespread, the repair systems may be overwhelmed and the cell will be unable to recover, leading to cell death. There's also excision repair. In this process, enzymes break the bonds between the bases and the sugar phosphate strand at the site of error. The damaged or incorrect DNA bases are removed by different enzymes. The gap is then filled in by DNA polymerase I and sealed by DNA ligase. This system corrects many replication errors and chemical damages. Bacterial genetic change is one of the most powerful forces in microbiology. Through gene transfer, mutations, and mobile genetic elements, bacteria can rapidly acquire traits that make infections harder to treat and control. If you found the content of this video helpful and want to keep learning how microbes affect the body, please make sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and turn on notifications so that you never miss out on new content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.